So my guide took me to this area in this building that had another white marble table, and there were two scrolls on this table. They were rolled up, and they had a ribbon around the scroll. And I learned in that part of my NDE that all of us plan our lifetimes, and we actually have these scrolls that they look like papyrus, like what the ancient Egyptians would write on. They look like that. And when I took the ribbon off and I unfolded the scroll and I laid it out on this table, and I could see that there was black lettering and it looked like calligraphy, the kind of writing you take an ink pen, you dip it in the ink, and then you write out on a parchment. That's what this writing looked like. And what it was is he wanted to be able to tell people that we plan our lifetimes. We plan who our parents are going to be. We plan what country we're going to live in, what language we're going to learn. All of this gets planned into our lifetime. So there's actual structure to it. And it's all based on what is it that you want to learn? What do you want to grow on? Do you want to learn about compassion or love, or do you want to learn about non-judgment? All of these things go into planning a life. Well, as I went to try to read what was on my scroll, it folded up again. And I wasn't able to read what I had written because I wasn't supposed to see what was in my life. They just wanted me to be able to tell people that life is not just some random accident, that we come here for specific purposes to learn and to grow. And what's interesting is that Earth, it's not the only way that you can learn and grow. You can still learn and grow when they're on the other side. It's just that you don't have anything to overcome. One of the reasons that we come to a planet is to have the experiences where we have to go through something that's hard. Because in life, almost always, especially in my life too, we learn from going through tough experiences, whether it's a job loss or a financial problem, a healthcare issue, or a divorce, and anything that you go through, you learn from that, and it makes you better. Well, on the other side, we still learn, but there's nothing over there that is hard. The other side is a perfect paradise. There's no war, there's no hunger, there's no disease, there's nothing that is hard for anyone to overcome. And you'd think, why don't we just stay there? Well, we do, but we also have times where we want to learn. And when we do, we actually choose a lifetime and come in to go through certain things to experience and to learn. But on the other side, you can still learn. You can take classes, you can go to lectures, you can paint if you want to, you can swim, hike, anything that you love to do here on Earth. It was explained to me that you can do on the other side. So it's an absolute paradise. So that was the building where we plan our. Oh, I want to mention before I forget. I want to mention one thing. When I was in that building, looking at my scrolls, on the left-hand side, there was this beautiful sprawling window, and I looked outside the window, and I could see that there was a footpath, and there were all kinds of people walking back and forth in front of this building like they were going somewhere. And the other side was, wherever I was on the other side, it was a specific place that he took me to. But the other side is like a planet. It's huge, and I was only in one area. But I could see people walking back and forth. And that's where I saw for the first time that people look just like we do. They dress a little bit differently. A lot of them seem to be wearing robes or gowns or tunics, kind of like what you would see in Greece, in ancient Greece or ancient Rome. But that wasn't the only thing. People could wear jeans and t-shirts. It's just that a lot of people seem to wear these gowns. And right on the other side of this footpath, there was a lake. And this lake was absolutely beautiful. It was kind of a round, oval kind of lake. And what was so interesting about it is on the outside of the lake were these weeping willow trees. You know how those weeping willow trees have their branches come down and with the leaves? Well, that the leaves were, or the branches were so long that they were floating on the top of this lake, just floating there. And it was still, it was an absolutely beautiful scene. And that's when I realized that the other side has nature that is similar to Earth's, but the other side is so much more beautiful. They have oceans and lakes and rivers and mountains and everything we have here, but just so much more beautiful. And then he took me to, before we left the big round building, he took me to an area where it looked like a huge library full of Encyclopedia Britannicas. And they were all the same color, kind of maroon, purplish, and they had writing on the binding, but the writing wasn't horizontal. The writing went down on the bindings. And what they were in gold lettering. And what it was the name of all of our soulmates. All of us have soulmates that God created with us at creation, and that is our perfect mate on the other side. And my guide wanted me to be able to tell people that the whole concept of soulmates, it's real, that they really do exist. And he took me to a place where I could see my soulmate's name. And I looked at the book, and it was Nina, Nina. My soulmate's name on the other side is Nina, and we all have them. What I get asked a lot is whether or not the soulmate comes into a lifetime with us. And that I don't know. My first inkling or impression is that they don't. Because one of the reasons we come to Earth is to learn through relationships. And having relationships teaches us a lot. And if your soulmate came with you into your lifetime and was with you for your whole life, that would be an opportunity that you wouldn't really have to learn from having relationships, because you would have the best one with you. So I don't know if the soulmate comes into a lifetime with us. That's something that if I could ask my guide, that's a question I would absolutely ask. So that part I don't know. But the soulmates are real.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.
Resto maliata.